Hi there, this is Ronnie again, and what I want to make this video about today is tips on dealing with social situations if you're going on an alternative diet like a raw vegan diet. And something that happened yesterday prompted this video, because a lot of people talk about going on a diet, a different diet, changing their lifestyle, and they say they lose, or they're worried they're going to lose their friends or family or whatever else. And that may be true or not for some people. What I realised last night, I was out with a few friends, and they hadn't initially invited me to this night out, and then one of the guys said, I didn't think you would want to come because we were coming to a restaurant. So it made me realise that something that people don't do is they put all this content online, or they start to post about their vegan diet or whatever, and they never really tell people that that regardless of the fact that they're on a vegan diet, they still are happy to hang out with people that aren't vegan, or raw vegan for that matter. And you might think that's obvious, but a lot of people will think that you won't be interested in being around them anymore because their diet isn't the same as you, or they might be worried that you're going to try and get them to change their diet or whatever. So that's something I think that none of us have really considered a lot of the time, is that people might be making a judgment that we don't want to hang out with them anymore or be around them anymore. So it may be worth kind of communicating that to people if you don't feel that way, if you do want to still hang out with them and be friends, that you might want to make that clear to them. So that was just something that I wanted to put together. I wanted to try and get out there for some reason, just like all these videos, just an idea to put something out there. But overnight you're not going to change to having a world where everyone is all of a sudden raw vegan and all the social situations are appropriate for raw vegans. So you just have to accept that. If you're going to do this, and if you want to do it, then you just have to accept that there is going to be challenges, and the question is that worth it? And I would say that it is worth it, because ultimately it relates to your health and your own sort of integrity with yourself and what you want to do. But the big tip as well is to create another social circle, specifically trying to find raw vegans or vegans. And various people have set up groups on meetup.com, maybe on Facebook as well, and started potlucks or little meetings or little days out. And there's not a lot of people that would be willing to do things like that, but you should consider doing that. And that's the great thing about doing something like this, is it kind of pushes you to do things that you would have never done before. You'd have never thought to do that, but you start to feel like you kind of need to do it. and along that, you learn a lot from doing these things. And then when you get comfortable with it, you wonder, why doesn't everybody do things like this? And you realise that people have a lot of fears and have a lot of worries and a lot of unnecessary worries about everything, and we forget that. And we forget that when we're communicating with them about the diet or communicating with them about anything. The fact that we've overcome those fears doesn't mean that they're going to instantly overcome those fears. I was speaking about some friends last night that didn't come out, and they're continually giving excuses as to why they can't come out and do anything, and you just think, what is that that's stopping them? What are the fears or worries they have about coming out that stops them from coming out and doing something? Um, and it's hard to say. It's the same thing with people that don't come to, when you do put on a meet-up group or an event or a festival. So many people don't come, even if it's completely free and it's nearby them and everything else. People are much more worried or scared or concerned about the challenges of social situations with people they don't know than you realise. And when you've went through that process and went and got rid of those fears and realised there's nothing really to worry about, you become confused as to why people wouldn't come along to your raw food group or whatever. So there's a lot of worries and fears that people have socially, a lot of anxieties, and they're worried they might offend you. They're worried them if they invite you to something that you're gonna not want to be there. You're gonna tell them off for eating what they're eating or whatever else. So being clear about the fact that that's not your intent with being their friend, then that would probably help the situation. So I hope that some of that makes sense. I'd love to get your feedback if you want to comment below, and we'll see you in the next video, and feel free to subscribe if you wish. Okay, thank you. Struggling to end this video, give me a second.